Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty. And I've disappeared. Hey, I'm back. How's everybody doing? Tonight with me is Jeans with Joy. Joy, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I'm happy to be back, excited to do a show, and this is going to be an amazing show. So let me get rid of that, and let me get...
welcome home.
Thanks. I'm happy to be home and happy to be doing this with you tonight. There we go. So let's see here. Ta-da. Let's get right to our first segment. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug, and I try and match it up to our guests. And tonight, man, I nailed it. So our guests tonight are, there we go, Gene and Jacqueline Hammond. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How are you?
Good. All right. So when we get to talking to you, you guys got like two separate stories that obviously come together. But Jacqueline lived in England and traipsed around Europe picking up antiques. So tonight I'm drinking the World's End rum. It was given to me by a tiki bar owner in Belgium, Ghent, Belgium, and it's very delicious. And Gene is a fishing captain. And yes, of course, I have a tiki mug that's a dead fish.
Perfect. Well, I am drinking a vintage 2019 Corona in a Guinness glass.
What do you got there, Joy?
I know you're shocked by this, that it's vodka and cranberry, but it is also in a reusable Starbucks Christmas mug, this year's Christmas mug.
Very nice.
Maybe it's a latte, maybe it's vodka. Nobody knows.
Maybe it's mommy's little helper. You never know. All right, Gene and Jacqueline, sit back, relax, and we'll see you in about 25 minutes.
Sounds great.
All right, let's get back to it. I'm dying to share some scores. I cannot wait because I got some good stuff to share. And bonus, I sold something like 7 minutes ago that I had to add in just for you, Joy.
Ooh.
All right, time for our scores of the week. These are the things that you should be on the lookout for. Joy, you are up first. Oh, here's that little vase.
Yes. So if you remember maybe 6 weeks ago or so, when I was on the show with Jason, we talked about this vase that I bought for myself in Tucson for $2. And it turns out that it's Blanco. And after I got settled, I did list it and I sold it for $250 plus shipping. And it went to the LA Design Center.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sad because I loved it so much, but I also love $250. So there's that. Okay, so these are Rothy's. There have been a couple of posts in the group. I've been looking for these for a while. I've had Stacy looking for them for a while. I paid $5 for these Rothy's, and I took an offer that night of $100 plus shipping.
Woohoo!
Yes, they are. Some of these sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So this is I moved back to Chicago. I got in on Friday night, and the next morning I went to a bag sale and started buying inventory. I paid $25 for this coat. It still had the tags on it. It was a 2X faux fur, and I sold it for $60 plus shipping.
Very nice.
Okay, so when I got to Chicago, my friend said, I have a bunch of random stuff that you can have and sell, until you start getting your shopping done. And in the bin was this purple square pillow, and it looked like the Crown Royal bags. And I said, what is this? And they said, it's a display pillow for a Crown Royal bottle. And I said, where did you get it? And they're part of the Crown Royal Crown Society, something like that. And this was a Christmas thing that the society members got. I listed it at what it had previously sold for, and it sold a few hours later for $50. And it shipped in a box first class, so it's super light, but you want to ship it in a box because that middle part is hard to hold the bottle, so you don't want to mess that part up.
And there's your little
yeah, if you find it in the box, some people have sold just the pillow for $100. Some people have sold the, with the box for like $70. but keep your eye out for that. There, there's not a ton of them out there because they were an exclusive for the society members, but you never know. There's also a different version. It's bigger. It was a liquor store display. It's about 2 feet high, and that will fetch between $250 and $400.
All right, Joy, I'm going to mute you for a second. Oh, I just sold something while I talk because I'm hearing Monster Jason coming through your computer. So I'll be riding the mute button. So, just give me the high sign if you need to say something. And real quick, I want to give a big shout out to the PNW, eBay, and online sellers meetup at Devil's Reef. Hi, guys. Oh, have a good cocktail for me. Cheers. All right. Don't you hate it when you sell something so quick, you go, oh, shit, did I list that too low? I listed this Frankenstein flannel shirt before Halloween and then realized it never launched because of an error in the listing. Then I launched it. There it is. And it sold in like 3 hours. So it was, I sold it for $40. You think that was too low, Joy?
I do. I probably would have listed it closer to 60.
How badass is this shirt?
It's fantastic. And I think that you would have gotten 60 year round.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, boo. I mean, I'm not complaining about a profit margin, but I think I'm going to post it in the thrifting board tomorrow and just, we'll have a little chat about what was the thing that sold too quick that you were like, whoops. Maybe. And I couldn't find any comps. And so I underpriced because, I don't know, I'm a moron sometimes. But I'm not a moron here. This was from the Dollar Buffalo Exchange sale. I never would have grabbed Alice and Olivia women's pants because I don't know what the hell they are. But when you're at a dollar sale, you just grab and go. And so, hey, $1 turned into $28 plus shipping. Or maybe Stacy grabbed them. Oh, man.
And some of that brand does, I just want to say some of that brand does really well. And some of it, doesn't. But there is some good Alice and Olivia stuff out there.
So when you're out at the record stores looking for music, there's also the books that, let you be able to play the music. And this is the guitar parts for the music of Robert Cray. I picked it up for $3 at a record store, sold for $37.85. And this is some art by one of my favorite artists, Shag, that I never framed, and it was just laying in an envelope. I think I paid like $80 for it back when it was new, and just recently sold it for $220. So art appreciated well, sitting on my desk for like 9 years. And then just for joy, I just sold this like 15 minutes ago, a denim sports coat, denim Western sports coat by Circle S. So picked this up for $5.99, sold for $45. And the funny thing was my 17-year-old assistant just assumed this was a girl's coat. I don't know why she assumed that. And so when I got the pictures back from her, it was on the girl mannequin with the big boobs. I'm like, wait, why'd you do that? She goes, oh, this isn't a girl's coat? I'm like, no, it's for a dude cowboy.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's teaching the teenager. All right. So those were our regular scores of the week. Now it's time for my CD and cassette scores of the week. Look, if you're not flipping music yet, what are you waiting for? Joy Williams. Especially since you're back in Chicago, I fill up a suitcase every single time I'm in Chicago. And some of my best scores come straight out of Chicago. All right, so let's talk about flipping cassettes first because I've done a webinar on flipping cassettes. Jodeci, Forever My Lady, $25 for a used cassette. $25. So, and I haven't had huge cassette scores in a while because I haven't listened to anything new. But bam, I had two last week. Turbo by Judas Priest. It was sealed, $35.
Nice.
Now,
2020 is going to be my year. I'm going to get into cassettes and CDs, I swear.
Now, flipping CDs was my first media webinar, and let's talk about that. We are all fans of Dwar, aren't we? You love Dwar, don't you, Joy?
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
I don't know who Dwar is either. And Dwar sat in my Amazon account forever, moved it to eBay, and sold within like 2 weeks. $28. I paid $2 for it. This Garth Brooks box set was sealed. I picked it up at Savers for $12. I listed it. It sold within 4 hours for $67.
Is that the 10 CD set? The long one?
It is a long one, but it's the older one. It's only 6 CDs.
Okay.
And then Joey Ramone, lead singer of the Ramones, he has a Christmas CD. We're really not in Christmas season just yet, but I sold it for $35. And then my favorite, Steely Span, have no clue who they are, but when I scanned it, it looked good. It was $15 and I sold for $115. And keeping in mind, CDs for the most part are all the same size and shape. So once you learn how to ship one, you've learned how to ship them all. All right. If you want to learn more about flipping CDs, flipping cassettes, all kinds of good stuff like that, head over to jasonthrifts.com. And there are all my webinars that you can check out. The price of the webinar is worth about one good CD, and then you've covered yourself. And then the rest is just pure profit in your pocket. But not everything's a winner, are they, Joy?
No.
Sometimes there are duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. Real quick, the Prophet Boss says they're an Irish folk music band, Steely Span, so thank you. And I wanted to say something. There's the gang from Devil's Reef. Hey, gang. And someone was tuning in for the first time. Hi, Harley. Tuning in
Hey,
first
Harley.
time. So thanks for tuning in. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Always good to see you, everybody. All right, let's talk about your duds, Joy.
All right, so it's funny because my duds came out of the same shopping trip, and Cabby is a brand that usually does well for me, and this has been listed for 2 years now. I've done everything to get rid of this blazer, and I can't make it go anywhere. It's a size 4, but you know what? I sell a lot of small clothing. It's a good brand. It's not that interesting, but you know, it's workwear, and it just will go nowhere.
All right, so Jeans with Joy, if you're a size 4 and you need that blazer, she'll cut you a sweet deal.
J. Jill is another brand that I sell a lot of, and this sweater I've had priced all over the board. I've even done a 99-cent auction with shipping, and it's going nowhere. And I bought those on the same shopping trip.
Stacey thinks it's
cute. They've been listed on the same day. It's 3/4 sleeves. It's warm, but it's not ungodly hot. You know, if it's like you're going somewhere in the wintertime and it's like a bar or a concert and you don't want to be too hot, but you don't want to freeze either. It's just a cute sweater and nobody cares about it.
Sad.
Yeah.
All right. So, I always share my duds on CDs too, because, not everything's a winner. But for whatever reason, this looked good when I scanned it, and it looked so good. I bought 6 of them, and I sold only one last Christmas. I just sold one this past week for $9 whole. I paid $5. So selling for $9, not any really profit. And I still got 3 or 4 left. So stay away from a VJ Christmas if you happen to see it. And I've had this Santa Tinkerbell little plush forever, or Mrs. Claus, I would guess. She jingles. I got free shipping. So if anyone wants it, Tiki Pug Music, you offer me $15, it's yours. It'd be nice in someone's stocking.
Title, your title doesn't say Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, well, I just realized that I'm like,
Mrs. Claus or Elf or some, something like that, maybe.
But if anyone's watching, $15 free shipping, it's yours. And I'll write you a nice little fun note. Oops, going backwards. All right, now it's time for... Where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. Joy, you didn't have any international sales this week, eh?
No, but you know what? I'm still... I think I have 25 listings up. I just have not.
All right. So the odds are pretty low.
Yeah.
However, I sold, because when you think of good blues music, you think of John Belushi. And so John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd have a blues album that I have a whole box of autographed ones in the garage. And this one went to Unterwolzen. Bet you I pronounced that pretty close. It's in Germany, outside of Munich, and right near the border of Austria. So you never know when someone in Unterwolzen is like, you know what? I need a Jim Belushi CD right now, and I need a signed one. So definitely have your stuff available to all the world. The whole world wants to buy your goods. Don't cut out those potential customers.
Can I just ask how you ended up with a whole box full of them that are autographed?
Yeah, my old assistant Cheryl worked for an entertainment for a company that did events for like the gaming companies. And that was one of the events where they played at the show. So when she was moving, she's like, oh, hey, I got this whole box of signed ones. Here you go. So
I love her, by the way.
yeah, I love her too. I sell one about every 2 months. So it's nice. Hey, it was free. It was just sitting here. All right. So now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty kind. Little fun encounters when we're out and about.
Okay, so this was so funny and so strange. I wish that we had been recording it. So when I did my class in Chicago at Ecom, we had walked into the store and Angela and I were talking to the manager and I say out loud, hopefully we find some good stuff, you know, some great blow molds would be great. The words are still hanging in the air and I look over the shoulder of the manager and in the corner behind her is this entire set of Christmas nativity blow molds. Okay, so that's the first strange thing that happens. And then the first person to show up for the class was Mindy Kitchell. And I point to them and she freaks out. She's been looking for this set for her mom for 2 years for this particular set. And so she just like was beside herself and threw them all in the cart. But the sheep was missing. And we start walking away from that area for her to go pay. And Angela goes, wait, look. And she finds the sheep like in the display window. So we got her the sheep too. It was just so bizarre that I said that. I never see blow molds at the thrift store. And I was just kind of being facetious when I said it. And then there they were. And Mindy had been looking for that exact set. It was so strange.
It was divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So mine, I wish I had a picture. I don't know why I didn't take a picture. But we were in LA because we were heading out for Secret Beach Cruise #2. And we were in LA 2 days ahead of time. And so we were staying in a hotel in Burbank. And I wake up in the morning and I got an offer on this t-shirt I'm about to show you. And well, I may just show that right now. And I take it. Fear the Tree, Stanford University. We go downstairs, Joy, to the lobby to get breakfast. And there in the lobby eating breakfast is the Stanford volleyball team.
Wow.
The only thing I sold all morning was a Stanford shirt, and I'm standing amongst the volleyball team.
That is crazy.
They're just hanging out in Burbank.
Just hanging out.
All right, now it's time for You've Got to Be Shipping Me. Little tips and tricks what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. And before we move on to that real quick, I want to point out that Paul found an Eddie G Christmas CD. Now, if you've taken my Christmas webinars, you would know that is an impressive find. So, hey, Paul, do me a favor. I want to see which one you got. Send me a picture of it, would you? Because there's a few out there. So there's a bonus little bolo, Eddie G Christmas CD. But now we're not talking CDs. We're talking shipping.
Okay. Here's the thing. I know some of you like to use I got to put my drink down. So I know you guys, some of you like to use those cardboard mailers instead of the poly, the bubble priority flat rate bubble ones. I'm not a fan of that to begin with, but I know that some of you also use them to ship clothing and you don't polybag your clothes. This is actually what it looks like in Chicago right now. And so if it doesn't fit in your mailbox or your mailbox has snow in it, which those kinds of mailboxes do get snow in them, they are not protected inside. That cardboard's going to be wet and soggy, and so are your clothes. So if you're going to use the cardboard ones, you know, I don't even care if it's a nice, clean Ziploc bag, put it in a plastic bag inside there. Please.
All right, look. I can't stand shredded paper. I got a box the other day, had a great little shelf in it that I bought, and this all fell out, and we've cleaned it up, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like stripper glitter. You can shower 7 times, and you're still going to have a piece of stripper glitter on you. And we've cleaned this up like 17 times, and then we still see pieces floating around. So please use bubble wrap, air pillows, peanuts. I just can't stand. I can't stand shredded paper. It's just a mess. Just a mess.
It's awful. It's dusty. It's like Easter grass. You're gonna it in July. It's never going away.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now it's time for where's my button? There it is. All right, Thrifty tips of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're outsourcing.
I know you guys cannot get enough of me telling you to get rid of those death piles. So this is a, Christmas edition of the death pile. This is a time where things that are new sell more often, especially in the clothing category, than used does, because people give them as gifts. So if you have a death pile, go through it and get your new with tag stuff items listed first. Go through your existing listings and rebrand them. You know, whether it's a red tablecloth or red dress or something that still says Valentine's Day, or maybe it doesn't say any holiday at all. Put Christmas in the title, or if it's a dressy dress, put New Year's Eve, formal clothing. Go through, if you have things that are, little black dresses or sparkly dresses that could be New Year's Eve's. These are all things that you can pull out of your death pile rather than going out and sourcing new stuff. This is the time of year to get those things listed.
That was a great tip. Oh, the monster. I'm muting you for a sec. All right, now I've said this tip before. I'm going to say it again. Record stores, to keep their bottom line going, because records and CDs, although they sell well, record stores about 10 years ago realized they needed more things. And so they've got books and magazines and games and comic books and all kinds of stuff. And here's a signed shag print in an LA record store. Now, this one, it wasn't worth $200. It's one of his prints from the Tiki room at Disneyland. Maybe $200 it was worth, so there was no money to be made. But I have actually thrifted a Tiki mug from this record store in the past. So don't think record stores just have music. They have all kinds of stuff nowadays. And when you got to make sure you walk around the store too. This was found in a display case on the wall near the magazine section. Now, there is no real art section, so they just had a pickup spot for it. But you would never think, piece of signed shag art in the magazine section. All kinds of cool stuff.
There's a great store in Tucson, and maybe they have them other places, I don't know, called Bookman's. And they have books and music and video games, but they also have other, antique type stuff and kitschy type stuff. And a lot of that stuff they put actually in a display behind the cash register. So if you're ever in Arizona, look for Bookman's.
All right, now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're selling.
Okay, so this news is actually a couple weeks old, but we haven't had a chance to cover it yet. Poshmark has now given you on the listing form these 3 new items, and they are you have to click on where it says additional details. These are private, only you can see them, the buyers cannot. It is a place for you to put in your SKU, like the custom field on eBay, that you can put in your item's location in your inventory. You can put what you paid for that item there. Some people, when they're considering offers, they can't remember what they've paid for everything. You can actually put it into your listing. And then they've given us a bonus one for other info. So, you can put anything you want in that field. Nobody else can see it but you. And it's a great handy dandy little update to the Poshmark website and app.
I gotta get my Poshmark going now.
Because a lot of people, used to have to go look on their eBay if they're, cross-listing it to see where the item's location is. Now you don't have to do that. You can do that on Posh.
Cool. All right, now I know everyone's favorite band is Desecration, Pathway to Deviance, and I'm doing a Amazon inventory right now to make sure that what's on the shelf is on Amazon and I don't got any mistakes. Going in the holidays, I want to make sure everything's accurate. And so when we, my wife's helped me, she goes, okay, Desecration, Pathway to Deviant. I said, man, that's not on the list anywhere. And the reason it's not on the list is because Amazon has it very, very wrong. It says Harvest EP by Snub, not even close. So this tip is make sure you're reading your screen. When you list something by the barcode, Amazon, eBay, whatever, they could have it wrong. So don't just, the picture's right, but everything else is wrong. So ain't no one going to find Desecration because they would need to look for Snub. So I pulled it off of Amazon. I'll stick it on eBay. Just make sure your eyes are reading. Don't get so robotic. You don't pay attention to what's up on the screen.
And because, here's the thing about Amazon, as much as we all love Amazon, the listing page is not your own. Other sellers have the ability to change details, and sometimes they change things that they should not. So it doesn't hurt to periodically go double check your details to make sure that no one's changed it.
All right, since you're on, you get to announce your own segment.
So this is the Jeans with Joy Good Job Award of the Week. For those of you who have not seen this segment before, each week I highlight a seller or member of the group who has done a particularly good job either finding or selling a pair of jeans. And this week I am bestowing the honor on the big kahuna himself, who has had a banner denim week, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it.
If you're not hunting rock revival jeans, I'm going to mute you for a sec, Joy. Damn Jason Monster. If you're not hunting rock revival jeans, you are not paying attention to the thrifting board, to Jeans with Joy, or what's just happening around you, because I have sold 4 pair this week. So it's one of those things too. I had laying around. I'm like, okay, profit pile. I kind of like what you said, Joy. I looked at things. I'm like, okay, these will sell faster and quicker than some other things. And now I'm gonna start working on winter stuff for sure. But this pair sold, this pair sold, this pair sold, and this is my favorite pair. If they would have fit me, or if they would have been in my size, I would have kept them, because that's a badass tie bleach job there, right there. That's awesome.
Oh, those are fantastic.
And I got to tell you, most thrift stores still don't know that these are a good brand. So I'm still picking them up. Stacy always finds them for me too. We're still picking them up at like $4 or $5. Not expensive. Write it down.
One more other, you get a bonus gold star, because I love it that you have started charging for shipping on some of this stuff. In the old days, Jason would have sold those for that price with free shipping. Buyers are willing to pay it. You can double check your items on Terapeak. Will tell you if you can pull off charging for shipping. That's an extra $7 that doesn't come out of your pocket.
And I'll give myself
Absolutely. You earned it. Good job.
All right, real quick before we get our guests in here, Mom and I will be on this Sunday. Again, another show we haven't done in a couple of weeks because we were traveling. And we're going to talk about the cruise. And there was 2 days of classes, 6 hours of classes on the cruise besides fun and frivolity. And so Mom and I are going to highlight some of the things that were taught on the cruise in those 6 hours. So also, if when we do the next cruise, make sure you get signed up, because besides learning, we had a fun time and, man, a lot of relaxing. So this will be Sunday. We haven't picked the time yet, but it's usually around the same time as this show, usually 8 p.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. West Coast. And all right, if you have not yet picked up the Denison mug, we're down to 25 mugs. And let me add this into the mix. Look at this. I got a brand new turntable. I love when I get new toys. Hey, Photo Bomber. Hey, Photo Bomber.
Hey, wait, Photo Bomber. Did Stacey get new glasses? Those are so cute. Sorry.
Joy likes your glasses. All right, so you got to get your Denison mug. We're down to 25. Now, those of you who don't collect Tiki on the norm, let me go back to this graphic real quick. So, let me get rid of Joy's little banner there because it's kind of screwing up the. So the Den of Sin is our home Tiki bar. It's something that we came up with. And Doug Horn, the middle picture there, is a world famous Tiki artist who's a good friend of ours. He designed the logo that's in the upper left-hand corner. And then John Mulder, our other friend there, he is the top mug maker right now. He made the mug. And so the three, our imagination, Doug's eyes, and John's hands have put this together. And it is an amazing, amazing mug. And we priced it cheaper than the norm on these, what we call custom type mugs. Usually they're 100, 100 quarter, $150. We decided to go 89 because with shipping, it ended up being about $100. And we wanted to keep it reasonable. So I know a lot of you have picked up the mug. Like I said, there's only 25 left. This will definitely be something that will appreciate in value. Once it's sold out, it is sold out. And you can just look up the name of John's company is Ecom Bookum. So look up Ecom Bookum mugs, and you'll see they sell for a ton of money. So if you'd like one, I will pop the link in the chat in 2 seconds here because I totally forgot to have it.
How tall is that mug, Jason? I keep forgetting to ask you.
Yeah, it's a big bad boy there. It's 9 inches and holds so much. The first time I filled it with a drink, I kept drinking. I'm like, is there a bottom to this mug?
I was going to say, Angela, we could put a lot of wine in that mug.
Oh, yeah. Was it 20 ounces?
I think so.
Yeah. And I got to give it up to John. I mean, he did an amazing job. So what he does is he glazes it red, then does the black over top, then wipes it away, and then takes a little bit of a sander and see he kind of sand the horns on this one and the back logo a little bit. So basically each one's going to be individual because you never know how the wipe and the sand is going to go. So there really isn't going to be any two alike. So what?
I love that the den of sin and the skyline is three-dimensional on the back, that it's raised, you know?
Yep.
Instead of just I love that mug.
So get yours today. I'll post a link. There's 25 left, and then it is sold out. Those of you in the Secret Beach, I should have your special glaze for you. The Brown scored already. I should have your special glaze for you guys by the beginning of the week. And those of you who bought this mug, I should have it by the mid next week. And so they'll start shipping out the end of next week. And I think that's it. I think we can get to our guests. All right, cool. How much does it weigh? Oh, yeah, Stacy can go weigh. Hang on, go weigh real quick. Who said how much does it weigh? Where is it? All right, Angela. Just for Angela, it's 9 inches tall, holds 20 ounces of a cocktail, and it weighs. Oh, funny. I still got there's nothing there to see anymore. How much does it? It's a hefty sucker, and people keep saying to me, "Joy, am I going to FOMO it?" I can't because of the horns. I don't want the horns to get broke. So
yeah,
1.2 pounds. It's a hefty mug. We did not mess around.
Here's the thing. I love it, but I couldn't be trusted to drink alcohol out of that because after I drank the 20 ounces of vodka out of it, there's no chance it's not ending up in tatters on the floor. I would just have to look at it and admire it.
All right, fine. All right, let's get that out of here and let's get our guests into here. Let me put that back up. Let's get rid of Angela. Do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Gene and Jacqueline, who are muted. Hey, unmute yourself, guys.
All right, we're unmuted.
There we go. All right,
guys.
I'm going to take you out for a second. There we go. What's happening, guys? How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
We are dandy. All right, so this week was Veterans Day, and thanks to the reason I said, "Hey, Debbie, would you like to be my producer?" She always has good ideas, and I'm always so busy. She's like, "We should have a veteran on for Veterans Day." I'm like, "Duh!" It seems so simple, but I wasn't even thinking that. And she's like, "Oh, I got the perfect couple." I'm like, "Sweet, let's do it." And so we've combined veterans and selling on eBay all in one little happy package. So I'm so excited that we're going to talk about all this stuff. But let me I've done some fun things. So let me do this first. Thank you for your service, sir.
Standing by to stand by. You're welcome.
Oh, I should have done this one. There we go. For our heroes. I know I'm blocking Joy right now, but
that's okay.
I have fun little toys.
Totally fine.
Let me clean the screen off real quick. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's start with Jacqueline, because the show is about selling and eBay, and you had the journey. I barely left my little country bumpkin corner when I was growing up. You were all over Europe bouncing around. How'd you end up? So when did you go to Europe? And I know you stayed there for 8 years. So when'd you go there? How old were you?
27.
Okay. And what took you there?
A previous marriage. In a former life, I was married and living abroad in England.
All right, Joy, now's the time to announce our special guest. Here's Jacqueline's first husband.
Here's the thing. She says 27, and I'm thinking, was that like last week? Because, that's like, I was reading it, and I was like, isn't she like 25? I was just like, what? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah.
No.
So you ended up in England, but man, so were you always into antiquing and things like that, or did you just kind of absorb that as you were bouncing around Europe?
I think the latter, probably, because I was from a frenetic place. I was from Long Island with New York right there, so I don't think I would stop to really think about antiquities until you're living in a place where everything is hundreds of years old, and that's what really probably gave me the impetus to get involved.
And so you started traveling Europe. You were finding cool stuff. What were you doing with it? Were you buying it? Were you storing it? Were you sending it back to the States? What were you doing with it?
Kind of collecting it, you know. I mean, everything that surrounds us around here has been thrifted or bought on an estate sale. We used to make beautiful things, and now everything is pressboard from China. And I'm not a proponent, and I'm not a fan. And things get damaged. Life isn't perfect. So why do I want to buy something brand new for $6,000 when I can get something that's got a water stain in it, but it's American made from North Carolina and it's going to last for another 50 years, you know? So that's where I'm at with that.
I got a teak chest in my hallway that's for sale.
It's not for sale. I have a dowry chest from India. It's truly an antique. It's hundreds of years. It's got a rat hole chewed through it. And I got it on eBay. And when I left my life in England, I left a bunch of stuff from India that I had bought. And when I found this and it was available to me, I think I sent her 20 emails on Craigslist. I said, I'm not a stalker, really, I'm not, but I've already oiled it and I know where it's going to be. And
it is monstrous. When I say every time we move, this thing's got to be 500 pounds. It's completely
it's 120.
Crap.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
See, honey doesn't feel better. We're just moving tiki mugs around. They all weigh not as much. So Rich said she wanted to ditch the EXO. She went shopping. There you go. So in your notes for the show, you said you have picked antiques in an 800-year-old barn. So my first question is, what does an 800-year-old barn smell like?
It's musty. It's definitely musty.
Was there vampires?
No vampires. Lots of cobwebs. Lots of hay. And I really racked my brain for a few days trying to remember what I picked because this is the beginning of my eBay days. And the only thing I really can come up with, I had some turn of the century papers that had British aristocracy and headlines of the times. And that's what I ended up selling. And I know that there were other bits and pieces, furniture and things, but that's what sticks in my head.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So when what year was that you moved to Europe?
97. And then I was there steadily until 2001, I think. And then I moved back to America, but I was with a British company for a couple of years. So I was traveling back and forth, working here and kind of splitting life there and here.
And so you brought your treasures home and you left something behind and then you found Gene, right?
Yep. Found Gene after a long dry spell. Self-imposed, because there's a Shark Tank out there, you know, but yeah, 5 years. And 6 years and
I know.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean, girl?
Tell us, Joy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yep. He jumped on my boat in a sandbar in St. Petersburg, Florida. Yep.
What? Were there drinking involved?
No, absolutely not. Never.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, well, I met my lovely wife. She was drinking at my dad's bar. So, yes, I fully understand that.
Excuse me, I have to go to the bar now.
I'll drink to that.
All right. So you get back to the States, and what draws you to eBay?
I have been dabbling with eBay before, and I'm fascinated by the antiquities, and I know that you can find stuff down here in Florida for nothing, and folks don't know what they have. There's so many people selling things. If you have a keen eye and a little bit of an education, you can find pieces, and then you come across your awesome folks on the thrifting board that just give freely of their time and education. And, you know, if you're astute, you can make cash. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I have a story about that, actually. Growing up, I played t-ball, right? Played t-ball and Little League. She comes home one day with a Little League bat. It's a bat that we all, you know, it might sell for $350 or $400 brand new. She comes home with this bat she got for what, $3-4?
$4.95.
$4.95.
Yeah, half
Yep.
price.
And she's like, I'm going to sell this.
It
And
was
she
composite.
sold it for
$137.
$137. A Little League bat. Little League bat.
That's from the thrifting board, and that's from the education that I got. I found a composite bat. I played softball. We didn't pay that kind of money for baseball bats when I was playing softball.
We didn't have that kind of money for Little League bats in Southeast Kansas, where I grew up.
Here's what I want to ask is, do you think it's a little bit like what Jason has said in the past about living in Las Vegas and the thrifting there? Florida's one of those places where, people move to die essentially, and they take all their stuff with them. And then after they do go, the family's just just dumps it at the thrift store, has an estate sale, and they just want to get rid of it. Is that why the thrifting is so good, do you think?
It is. I'm not going to take anything that Jason had in mind because I used to be an estate liquidator. I had an estate liquidation business. There are many people that came here, brought only half of their collection and continued collecting, because they left homes behind. But yes, it's still 85 degrees here. The whole nation's freezing, and we got garage sales all weekend long that people can wait in line because the weather is
so
fine.
true. Yeah.
And so add that to the Goodwills and the Salvation Armies, because you guys, the market is flooded here. They're turning it away. So yeah, I wish I had all of your collective knowledge, or I want to bring you all on a thrifting trip, because I have a friend here that has storage units. He gets rid of stuff for 50 cents, $1. You all will make bank.
So we have to take a thrifting road trip to Florida.
Come on over. We'll take you fishing.
Plenty of room. And I might know somebody that can take you fishing.
Hey. I thought he was going to stay on a date, but fishing's okay too.
When we don't catch fish, what we post on social media are sunsets. And we got some really good sunsets in West Central Florida here.
That's awesome. So, Jacqueline, you said you had a estate liquidation company. How'd you end up with that, and why don't you have it anymore?
I got involved with it because a really good friend of mine was successful at it. I emulated his company. He helped me get started. He is the premier company down here. I did it all myself, Jason. I think that is the problem. One of the things you all talk about all the time is trying to get staff around you. And I didn't have folks doing it with me. And I was very particular because I understood the worth. And more importantly, I understood the lifetime of collecting. Estate sale is different from a garage sale. It's stuff that people are endeared to, it means something to them. So I feel very important. I feel I need to do it justice, and I need to take care of it. And so maybe that combination of those things, doing it alone and doing so much work, ended up really being more than one could handle.
Yeah, there is the only way to go to the next level in this business, whether you're running an estate liquidation or just an online seller, is to get some help. It doesn't have to be full time; it can be part time. Yeah. But I lucked out. Like my last one, I thought was good, and then ended up being a train wreck. And I'm glad it left me in a pinch for a while. At first, I had to put my stuff on vacation forever. But the one I got now, she is amazing. She's so good out of the gate that I'm only correcting a little bit of her listing. Like she listed for 7 days while we were gone. And so of the 87 things I had to look at, I only had to correct like a third of them. And she's only been doing it now with me for like a month.
That's great. And
so I'm like, look, you're at the edge of, you're just going to list them on your own, because the whole goal is for me not to have to touch it at all. Like, I bring it in and then she takes care of the rest. And I'm already excited because she gets it. She understands what I'm doing, the words I want, the prices I want, and I don't have to correct too much. And the stuff I corrected, we sit down together, and now she's learned, okay, this is what Jason needs from these things. And so that's the next level. I was at dinner with my friend John the other night. He has a very thriving business. He doesn't touch it at all. He rolls around the country with his wife in a motorhome, and he's got a staff in a warehouse somewhere doing the whole business. So if you can figure that out, that's the way to do it. And you're right. You want to do it your way, but there is that moment where you go, I have to give that up, or I can't grow. I can't expand. And I'm just going to be chained to the desk all day long.
Yeah. I think I can do that with my own things. I think I was reluctant to do that with other folks' things because I know my integrity. And it's difficult in some instances to leave someone else in a house that you're responsible for.
Yeah. I'm going to have my first helper in a couple of weeks. I'm super
Yeah.
excited that my sister's coming to work for me, and I'm going to be able to get so much more done. You know, when you're doing the thrifting and the measuring and the photographing and the listing and the shipping, there's only so many, and all the other stuff, you know, my group, all the thrifting board, there's only so many hours in the day, right? So you have to at some point relinquish a little bit of control, or you have to be okay with only being able to get to a certain level without help. So I'm really kind of excited about having my first helper.
Yay.
I hope that works. That's great.
All right, so let's get back to this love story up here in the corner. So you hopped on his boat. You saw this cute guy with a boat, and you hopped on, and then was it love at first sight, or were you like, "Hey, you got a beer?" Well, tell us what happened there.
Well, man, this is a really good story. I had I belonged to a boat club down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I was it Labor Day weekend?
Doesn't matter. I think it was,
It was Labor Day weekend, and I was gonna meet a friend of mine on a sandbar just outside of Johns Pass in St. Petersburg, Florida, and just like it always does in late summer here in South Florida, it was blowing and it was stormy. So everybody that I had invited on my boat canceled. And I grabbed the boat, went to a local bar down there in Johns Pass, St. Petersburg. And my buddy said, "Hey, I'm still in. I'm coming your way." Everybody on my boat canceled except for one person. And that was Jacqueline. So when the storms passed, we parked up on a sandbar outside of, or just inside of Johns Pass, and we had a great day.
Yep. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And how long ago was that?
Almost
50
10 years.
I'm sorry.
Almost 10 years.
10 years. 10 years.
And how long you guys been married?
6.
6 years. Yeah.
Ah, young love. How sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
You called me young.
Yes.
I think you called me young.
Yes. So, Jacqueline, when you got rid of were you selling the whole time on eBay and you did the liquidation, estate sale liquidation, and then when you got rid of that, did you ramp up on eBay or?
I did absolutely. I found out about yourself, the Big Kahuna, and your lovely tribe of lifeguards and beach combers and all you wonderful people. I joined the Secret Beach. I was hooked from the minute because of the positivity, because of the reinforcement of getting rid of the crap and not handling people that don't want to be positive and talk negatively. There was just a lot of things I liked about what you run. And I learned almost instantaneously. And when I look around, I bought almost everything I have around me is vintage.
Everything.
So
Everything. I'm vintage.
I have things to flip. I can flip in my own house all day long. So that's where I started. And with y'all behind me, I think I had 100 or so a year ago, and I'm up to just under 450 right now.
That's awesome. When I saw the suggestion, I was like, "Oh, I love her." Because one of the things I love about you is, you know, you're active, you're positive, you're give and take. Like, you know, it might be, "Hey, what's help with this?" But then you're also like, "Oh, hey, I know the answer to that." And you jump in and help other people. And I just was super excited when Debbie had this idea.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm involved. I'm learning a lot from you. I got to remember my glasses because everything looks like a big E when I don't have my glasses on.
It's funny that you say that because when I moved back a few weeks ago, I actually put my glasses in my suitcase. So now they're all kind of misshapen, and so I can't see anything because I haven't gone and gotten them fixed yet. And so I'm in the thrift store and I'm like, "What does that say?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got so old somehow."
Yeah, it sneaks up.
So are you just selling on eBay, or have you expanded to other platforms?
I have expanded. A girlfriend of mine has a very nice taste and has been very successful and hardworking her life. So she's got like crazy Louboutin and Bagley Mishka and all of them. And so I started to dabble on Poshmark because Jimmy Choo doesn't really command the prices on eBay that I think that it should. So I had one sale on Poshmark, which is good. It's only been 2 or 3 months I've been involved, but I do eBay Marketplace. No, sorry, eBay, Poshmark, Marketplace, and OfferUp.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna end on Gene's story. So let's do your duds and scores real quick here. I didn't realize these weren't sold, so I'm like, why are these duds? Because I saw decent prices. I'm like, oh, they're not sold yet. That's why they're duds. So tell us about these two pieces here.
It came from an estate sale. UC California, University of California professor that was an 8-year director of the American Historical Association. These are framed in the 1940s or 50s in SoCal, and they're not moving. And I'm shocked. This one and the next one, who he is still the other piece of art. He's a UCal professor still, 90 something maybe, or late 80s. And this is a beautiful piece. It's huge. It's MCM, not going anywhere.
Well, if anyone has any ideas, our art viewers, fans, 13 board members, throw them out there. We always, everyone's always open for suggestions, especially on things that aren't moving. But let's talk about things that are moving.
Back to you.
Yeah.
So tell us about this book.
It was a freebie. A friend of mine did an estate sale that Danny I had referred to before, and it was a hoarder's house. And the next week he opened it up for free. So I pulled it off the bookshelf. There was nothing left in the house except scraps, and that was one of the scraps, and it ended up being signed by the author. So free turned into what, $30?
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Picked that up for a $5. Nice Mexican silver on velvet.
That's cute.
That is cute. Oops.
Nice stout mug. I saw a discussion about mugs so long ago. Yeah, they sit forever, but this was Newport, and Newport's posh and beautiful, and it's got history, and it's nautical, and this is a nautical mug, so it finally went. 10 cents. 10 cents at St. Vincent de Paul.
I'll give you my mom's quarter. Hang on a minute. Where is it? There it is. There we go. And then last but not least.
Oh man, I wish I would have auctioned this. Got it for $7.50 the last day of an estate sale. And I couldn't find any orange ones online. I put it up for $145. I woke up, it was sold. I was like, dang.
Ah, like my shirt, like dang, too low. Too low. But it's better than the alternative. Could it still be sitting there? All right. So you're killing it on eBay. You found love. And Gene, when you guys met, were you out of the service already?
I was, yeah. I had just, I was probably about 2 to 3 years removed from the United States Army, which I did over 10 years. And I started working for a satellite company, which is what I did in the military, was satellite communications. And yeah, I just started boating and diving here and ended up on a sandbar with this one.
So real quick, Angela says Angela does a lot of vintage stuff and has a store, and she says I think you're right on with the money on at that price. So although it went quick, she's like thinks you were dead on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you for your service very much.
Yes.
Very much appreciated. And so you get out of the service. Now, how do you end up with hooking up with? Let me get him up here because I got it ready to go. There we go. Reeling Freedom Foundation.
I tell you what, this is a great story. We are very fortunate to be able to live in a place and make them a comfortable living like we do. And one year, I think she was in Europe. Jacqueline was in Europe at the time. And I was at our local establishment here with a friend of mine who I went fishing with today, actually. And I was sitting around, I think 2016. I'm like, we should do something for veterans. Veterans Day was coming up. I think we're about 90 to 95 days away from the 1st of November. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do a veterans fishing tournament because, I mean, we fish. We live on the water. And he said, okay, what do we do? With Jacqueline's help and the whole family's help, and couldn't have done it by myself by any means. We ended up raising $1 shy of $25,000 for our local veterans community.
Wow.
In 3 months.
Wow.
In 90 days.
Yeah.
So during that process, we held a local veterans appreciation tournament, a fishing tournament, an inshore tournament. And I had about 10 or 15 people from out of state coming to support me for this event. And I had 2 or 3 local charter captains on the hook to take these people coming from out of town out fishing for this event. Well, about 2.5 to 3 weeks before the event, these 3 charter captains called me within 2 or 3 days of each other and said, look, I can't do this.
They wanted money.
Yeah. We had the backing of a nonprofit organization, which I was going to give them a tax write-off for their time for that day. And they all canceled on me. All of them.
Wow.
So I was taking our daughter to school one day, and I pulled into the gas station. I was totally stressed out about how to get these out-of-towners on these boats to enjoy the day. They're veterans themselves. And this gentleman in a flats boat pulled right up next to me in the gas, like on the other side of the gas pump. He looked very professional to me. I leaned over and I asked him, I'm like, you're not an inshore charter captain, are you? And he said, yes, I am. It ended up being Fred Heidegerken from Patriot Charters just up the road here. I told him what I was doing it for, and he said, not only will I support you, but I'm going to bring 2 more charter captains to put those people on those boats, put those veterans on those boats. And he showed up during this process. We brought him to the house for dinner one night, talking about the event, what was going to happen. He's like, I have a friend down in Dunedin, Florida. You guys are pretty much trying to do the same thing. It was Paul and Danelle Gage from Dunedin that had just started a nonprofit organization called Reeling Freedom. So because I met Captain Fred, there they are. Because I met Captain Fred at the gas pump, they introduced me to Paul and Danelle. Paul donated 22 years of his life to your United States Marine Corps. And they started a nonprofit called Reeling Freedom. So I went and met them. I liked them. I started doing more events with Reeling Freedom. And they asked me to be their chief operations officer and also their tournament director. So that's what we do. We put veterans and first responders on the water to give back to the people that give us so much, right? And that's what we do.
That is absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this is I don't take a dime. We do not take a single red cent out of this organization. Everything that we do is completely 100% donated our time. And tomorrow we were supposed to take about 85 veterans out on one trip, but unfortunately the weather is not cooperating. So we're going to have to just do a beer drinking social tomorrow night.
Oh, well, that's a
Dang.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. What? Wait, shitty weather in Florida? What? Get out! Shut up. But speaking of, someone wants to know where exactly you guys live in Florida.
About 20 miles north of Tampa.
Okay. And what's the brand of boat you use on the Norm?
We have for the foundation, the picture that you just showed, that's a 27, a Gamefish 27 made by Sea Hunt. and we have a 25-foot pursuit.
And we have a 32-foot Endeavor. We sail as well.
That's not a fishing vessel.
No, but I beg your pardon. We have brought in a lot of fish on the sailboat. This is a bone of contention because the sailboat's free, right? 75 cents, and we're catching fish. The powerboat ain't free.
There is no other fishing. I took a retired Navy guy out, 27-year retired Navy guy out today, and we did nothing but trolling today. There is nothing more. There isn't a single method of fishing I like more than trolling, because you set the lines out, you put it in gear, and you're just chit-chatting and enjoying the day. So,
and when you're doing that, Joy, you pick up things like this.
That was caught today.
Whoa!
It's amazing.
That is a 28-inch redfish, which is
38-inch redfish.
Oh, 38-inch redfish. It is very rare for this coast of Florida. They catch these all the time on the East Coast. But Jacqueline and I have caught one this size about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
But it's a fish story because it broke at the boat. We don't have a picture.
I grabbed the leader and was about to grab the fish, and the leader broke. Fish gone. But
there you go. Got one now.
Yep. That's a good
awesome
one.
All right, so here's my quick fish story.
Let's hear it.
I was 10 years old, and I'd only ever fished on a pond or a lake at that point in my life. And my dad and my grandfather take me out deep sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. And even though my father said, look, just drop the line, because I'd only ever casted my whole life, I'm like, oh, you got to cast. So even though he said, just drop your line, I went back, and when I threw forward, I hooked my grandfather's ear.
Oh.
And so my father's going, what are you casting for? We're in the middle of the ocean. And they had to cut it because the barb went, they had to cut it and pull it through. So I pierced my grandfather's ear. So I learned real quick. And then my other one is we went deep sea fishing as a family in the Keys. And I don't know much about boats, but it was a 2-story boat. So the first mate was up top. And my brother catches a fish and he's fighting with it. And the first mate goes, I think he caught a bird. And the captain's like, how much were you drinking last night? So my brother's reeling it in. And he was reeling in for a while. They go to pull the fish up. There's a fish and a bird that went at the same time. So the fish grabbed the bait the second the bird tried to grab the fish, and they were all caught up in the line together. So as they pulled it up, the bird was pissed because he'd been underwater forever. And he got the first mate right on the arm. First mate, bird, fish is all over the place. I'm like, well, I'll never see that again. So have you ever caught a bird?
Yes, we have caught.
Oh, all the time we catch them. A lot of times we have a lot of seagulls out here, and when you cast the line, they follow the bait and go underneath the line. And when they start flapping around, they just get wrapped up in the line, and you're reeling in a bird. Happens all the time.
That's
so I have
crazy.
to tell you real quick my favorite fishing story, because my dad was a fisherman and a hunter and all that stuff. And so we were fishing from the time we were very young. And we were 4, maybe 5, and we had, bamboo poles, right? So you just drop them in the water and fishing with corn. And my twin sister didn't understand when you catch a fish and you bring it in, eventually the fish is going to die, right? So she was hysterical that the fish was like no longer alive. And so there she was sitting on the riverbank, and she's feeding the fish kernels of corn, trying to like revive it with food. She's sitting there sobbing, feeding this dead fish's mouth kernels of corn. So now anytime we talk about somebody catching a fish, it's always like, did you revive it with a can of corn, or what happened there?
Yeah, I have a friend down here that runs a company that teaches people how to fish, and he says all the time that it's not about the teaching people how to fish, but it's a company built on making memories, right? And both of you have a fishing memory or a hunting memory, an outdoors memory. To the kids out there, put the phones down, go fishing, get in the outdoors. That's what we did growing up. and don't come home until the street lights come on.
Yep.
You're so right, because I mean, I don't, remember a ton of stuff from when I was 10, but man, I remember because two things happened today. I hooked out my grandfather's ear, and we were way out, and a little bird flew in, like a bird like this big, flew in and landed on my pole, and he was just exhausted. So we just took him back to the mainland and let him go when we got back because he didn't want to fly no more. But I remember those things. I remember being 10 years old,
You do.
out on the Gulf, fishing away. So if someone wanted to help, participate, how would they get involved with Reeling Freedom?
Yeah, you can contact us. You can go to reelingfreedom.org or reelingfreedom.com. There's the website right there. We're on Instagram and Facebook. I've also started a podcast. I realize that during this endeavor, I've met a lot of interesting folks, very interesting people that have given. It's not just about veterans, but people in the fishing industry as well. So I woke up one day and said, people have to hear these stories. So that's why I started the podcast. If you search Reeling Freedom, wherever you get podcasts, you'll hear a lot of interesting stories and interesting people that I've met along the way. And just go to reelingfreedom.com and message us. You can donate. There you go.
I was just going to ask, is there a donation link? Like if people are watching and they feel compelled to help, is there a donation link on your site?
Yes, Joy, there is a donation link. There's also a place for captains to sign up that want to donate their time, because we always have veterans that want to go fishing. So captains can say, I will put a veteran on my boat. And then I also want to say to the folks out there in the thrifting board and the Secret Beach, you can drop down on the eBay donation menu. Reeling Freedom Foundation is there. I have a lot of my listings that are donate 10% or depending on what it is, sometimes my military items 100% to the Reeling Freedom Foundation, and it can go directly out of eBay.
That was going to be my next question, so that answers that. Good.
Yeah,
So, Gene, what's the biggest fish, and I'll use fish loosely because there are other things that fish you can catch, sharks and stuff, that someone has caught that you have taken out? So a member of the military or first responder has caught. What's the winner so far?
I would say about a 38-pound kingfish.
What about the barracuda?
Yeah, barracudas. We don't weigh those barracuda because they're toothy and nasty and stinky. So as soon as we get on board, we take a picture and we let them go. So we didn't weigh that one.
Or
But,
amberjack.
Yeah.
Amberjack.
Oh, you know what? That had to be a 50-pound amberjack. I forgot about that guy.
50-pound amberjack, probably.
Yeah, we do. I have a full-time job, but we still do about, between me and Paul Gage, we do about 10 trips a month. 10 to 12 trips a month. Just on the weekends and after work. So, it's hard to remember all of them, but some of the good ones are recorded on that podcast I told you about.
All right, so let me ask you this: when I host a party at my house, I always make cocktails, but I get to the point where I don't even drink the cocktail I'm making. I just have a beer because I'm like, all right, I'm tired of making cocktails. When you're helping others fish, and especially people who've never done it, and you're telling them don't cast, do you ever just like drop a line in and enjoy it yourself, or you're just so exhausted from doing everybody else's stuff that you forget to do it for yourself?
Yeah, I certainly do. I do get frustrated on the boat sometimes, helping other people, but I want those people to relax and enjoy, because there's a reason, right? There's a reason why. I bet you 98% of the people watching this podcast right now, if you think about the last vacation you took, right? Even you two, I bet you anything that it was near a body of water. It was sitting on a beach, might have been in the outdoors, right? And we use those healing properties of the wind, water, and waves to give back to our veterans, right? Yep. And yeah, I want those people to enjoy that come down from the north or don't get to fish a lot. I want them to enjoy that. So I will do as much as I can to make sure that they enjoy their day as much as I enjoy it when I go out by myself.
So how does a member of the military or a first responder even how do they find out about you guys and going out? Is it something that is on a Facebook group somewhere, on a website? Like, how do they know? Like, oh, I can go fishing with Gene?
Yeah, you can go to on Facebook, go to Reeling Freedom. Just search Reeling Freedom. We have an open page there with about 6,000 members. We also have a Reeling Freedom fan page with about 20,000 members, where we raffle off certain coolers and items and stuff like that to help with all of these trips that we do. Because, I went out today probably 10 or 15 miles, and I probably spent $400 or $500 just in bait, fuel, tackle, everything else. It's not cheap to go fishing, right? It's not inexpensive. So if you just go to reelingfreedom.com, and if you want to help, there you go.
And if you're a veteran and you want to go fishing, there's also an opportunity on the page for you to sign up for that.
Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, there is a link for veterans sign up, and you can sign up there, and that puts you on the list. You got to do a little waiver to make sure you're good to go to offshore, and then that puts you on a list. And basically, what I do with this list, I will start it at the top and start calling people. When I have a trip or I want to go fishing and take a veteran, I will start calling each and every one of those. The first 2 or 3 to answer get to go fishing. So just sign up and we'll take you fishing.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So how do these two things combine? Is there ever a combination of eBay and fishing? How do they intertwine?
Well, we live in a nautical community, and as soon as you put marine in front of anything, you can put up the price 300%.
Yes.
So
absolutely true.
And there's a lot of single family homes, widows or widowers down here in Florida. So sometimes one person was the marine person and the other was not. And I'm a sailor and I'm a fisherwoman and I have a power boat. So I know that stuff's expensive.
Another
so I
thing,
gotta try to find it and flip it.
when I go to those garage sales or estate sales, stuff like that, I'm looking for fishing stuff, nautical stuff, and there is a market out there for vintage lures.
Oh yeah.
I mean, crazy vintage lures that are 30, 40, or 50 years old. But I look for that stuff. I'm not going to sell them because I'm going to keep them myself.
And certain reels also, right?
Yes.
Definitely certain reels. And you know what, Joy, for everybody that's out there, as soon as you find something Yamaha original equipment, even if it's just a switch for a battery, that switch, that could be a $40 item. Mm-hmm. Because it's original equipment. So that's always good to look for. So that's all
right. So what I think we should do is plan a trip to come see them, go fishing, and maybe teach a class while we're down there and give away a couple tickets to some veterans who live in the area.
Right.
Don't tease me.
Yeah.
Don't tease me.
No, that's not a tease. That's we're coming. Let's do this.
I'll take you to the honey hole.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Go down for that.
Yeah.
No cameras or GPS devices.
All right. So there we go. Thank you guys. Amazing. It's so inspirational to see people who just give of themselves and take care of others. It's a joy. It's a joy to talk with you. No pun intended. It's a joy to be with Joy. And you guys are just, you're an amazing couple. I thoroughly, you know people online by their names and how they interact. But when you get to talk to them, it really enhances just how awesome you guys are. So thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, super. Thank you.
And even though you're not going to be able to send pictures of fishing tomorrow, send pictures of beer drinking.
Okay.
I will.
We support drinking and fishing.
Yes.
Our people.
Yeah, we support drinking like a fish. Oh, wait, crap. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
I got
drinking like a fish.
So engaged in your awesome story. I forgot the rest of my fun graphics. Hold on a second. We got this one.
All right.
And we got kind of looks like two of my mugs
Ooh,
together.
yeah.
And then I like this one because it's kind of hey, coming through. And hey, I'm coming through again. Whee!
That's
So thank you
hysterical.
again. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you for your service, and thank you for taking care of everybody after the fact. That is so awesome. And let's talk antiques again, Jacqueline. We'll do that
Yeah,
again.
For sure. Yeah.
And then Joy, real quick, we didn't do your commercial, so duh.
Oh, hey.
Hey,
Jeans with Joy, as you know, I have a private group that is 100% focused on helping people learn to sell denim or sell denim better. You can learn more about my group at my website, which is jeanswithjoy.com. It is a subscription-based group. Right now, there's a special price, just $25 a month. There's a discount if you sign up for the entire year. And it is at my website, jeanswithjoy.com.
and right as we were saying that, we got paid for the denim jacket.
Nice. See, there's you sold 4 pairs of jeans, the denim jacket this week. I'm sure that you probably sold more denim than that. If you sell a pair of jeans, I've talked about this before. My average sale price used to be $34. That's $25 in profit. 1 pair of jeans pays for a monthly subscription where you get all kinds of knowledge and one-on-one help. And that's a lifetime price.
Oh my gosh. And so, hey, I put this camera back on, not just for the mug, but I want to thank Stacy for being a wonderful wife and helper. And I would like to, Jacqueline, you guys are muted.
Sorry, that's my husband.
He's like, screw it, I'm going to mute it and I'm leaving. Bye. All right, everybody, give us a thumbs up down below. And you're not giving it to me or Joy. You're giving it to Gene and Jacqueline for 100% sure. Give us a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed before, make sure to subscribe. And Mom and I will be on Sunday. And then next Thursday, I want to start doing these panel shows where I have 3 or 4 guests on that come from the same kind of walk of life, like single moms, single dads, first responders. We'll do a panel show. And our first panel show is going to be members of the LGBTQ community. And I'm starting to put that panel together right now. So that'll be our show next Thursday. So we'll have all kinds of sellers with all kinds of bolos. So it should be a really fun show. So make sure to tune in. And with that, I say go Browns because they're leading right now. And we're off to watch Thursday Night Football. Is Gene coming back? We can say goodbye to him.
Yes, he is. I think one too many Coronas on the boat today, fellas. Sorry.
I've done some long shows where I'm like, all right, take over. I got to go.
Should have thought about it ahead of time. Got a bucket.
Bucket and chuck it.
There you go. So thank you, Gene and Jacqueline. Thank you, Joy. And let me unmute Joy here. And
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. And we'll see you on Sunday with my mom.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye, Gene and Jacqueline.
Bye. Bye, Jason.